Welcome back. 1 week ago, the Biden administration released a trove of previously classified documents, over 1,000, on the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The papers did include filings and memos from various agencies, including the FBI, State Department, and yes, the CIA. Among the papers are tips and leads the agencies chased in their investigations of the tragedy and insights into the movements of Lee Harvey Oswald in the months before the assassination. This JFK document dump, while the largest since the files were first mandated to be released, it's still a little bit, just a small percentage of the files that have yet to be declassified. I'm joined now by Jeff Morley. He's author of the book, The Ghost, The Secret Life of CIA Spy Master James Jesus Angleton, and editor of the JFK Facts blog. Jeff, I've known you for quite some time. I know how well you pour yourself into this. So let me ask, the bigger question is, why isn't everything released? We were told these things are going to be released at a 50-year anniversary. At this, we are not there yet. Why?
The agency, the CIA, has something to hide. That's the only plausible conclusion you can draw, I think. Congress put a 25-year deadline on this material, enacting a law in 1992 saying everything should be released by 2017. In 2017, the CIA director, Mike Pompeo, went to President Trump and said, we can't possibly release this. And Trump acquiesced to their demands, and there was 4 more years of secrecy. The same question came to President Biden in October 2021, same result. He acquiesced to the CIA's demands that most of this material remain secret. What we saw last week was about 10% of the 15,000 documents that continue to have redactions in them. So why is it taking so long? The CIA doesn't want to obey the law, is my conclusion.
Look, the easy hypothesis to me, no matter what you think, where you are on whether there was a conspiracy or not, it certainly looks as if the CIA doesn't want to admit what it knew about Oswald before the assassination. There seems to be no other hypothesis to come up with. Do you agree?
Yeah, and yes, and 2 documents came out last week that confirm that. These are 2 cables that were written about Lee Harvey Oswald in October 1963, 6 weeks before the assassination. And for the first time in 58 years, we have a complete, unexpurgated version of the CIA's pre-assassination file on Oswald. It took them 58 years to come totally clean on who in the CIA knew about Oswald before the assassination. So I think you're absolutely right. The question that they want to avoid, it seems to me, to delay is, what did we know about Oswald before the assassination? The CIA really doesn't want to talk about that. That's what we found out last week.
I mean, they don't. Is it possible they were trying to make him an asset, or he was an asset, and they don't want to admit he turned out to be an asset? And they, oh my God, we didn't know he was going to do this.
Well, that's what's so interesting about the 2 cables that were released in their entirety for the first time last week. One of those cables was a cable to Mexico City written by 6 top CIA officers. And I mean top: the deputy assistant director, the foreign intelligence liaison officer, the chief of the Mexico desk, the chief of operations in the Western Hemisphere. So that's the sensitive part of all of this, is how did top CIA officials know so much about Oswald before the assassination and do nothing? Okay, that's the question. Some people say, well, they were just incompetent, they were asleep at the wheel. Other people say, to me, it looks more like they were running an operation around it. But given that we don't have all the records, right, we really can't answer the question. The CIA needs to come clean on it. I mean, I think that's the story here. It's common sense. Right. Why wouldn't the CIA want to release all of this material?
Okay, let me ask you this. Why is William Manchester's interviews with Jackie and Bobby, why is that in control of the CIA? Or the federal government, excuse me. Why are they in control of those interviews?
Because when Congress wrote the JFK Records Act in 1992, they included a provision that nothing in the law would override the deed of gifts. And so when William Manchester gave those papers, those transcripts of his interviews with Jackie and Bobby Kennedy in 1964, he put on them a 75-year time limit. And so the law does not overrule the deed of gift provisions. So that material, according to the deed of gift, will stay secret until 2039. And the reason why that's significant is it's known that Jackie Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy did not believe the Warren Commission. They did not believe President Kennedy was killed by one man alone. They privately thought that he had been killed by his enemy.
All right, Chuck Morley, who basically is about the best person you can go to separate fact from fiction when it comes to JFK assassination. Appreciate you coming on, sharing your perspective.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you all for being with us this hour. We'll be back tomorrow with more Meet the Press Daily. MSNBC's coverage continues with Katie Tur right now.